Hello, good afternoon, viewers. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Tinubu and Wike, let us have a holistic look about Nigerian situation. But let us start from the judiciary. Everything seems not to be working in this country. But let us take clue from what came from Goodluck Jonathan, because the other day he said if a man pretends to be sleeping, it's difficult to wake. And when a man genuinely sleeps, it's easy to wake. Drawing from India as an adage. And we are seeing that to me criticizing Nigeria in almost every area of life. But let us look at our judicial system.
Breakdown of law and order, intentional breakdown of law and order. Is that means Nigeria is not governed by law? Nigeria is governed by interest and emotion and feelings. That's what it means. And for a former president who is being assumed now to be one of the best presidents to have tried to fix Nigeria, maybe to up to 20%, I can give it to him. You know, I'm talking about Goodluck Jonathan, and with a lot of uncertainty in almost everywhere in the political space. There's crisis in the economic space. There's crisis in structural space. There's crisis state in all the federating units of the country. There's challenges, insecurity, bad government, bad leadership. Nigerians, 250, 300 million Nigerians are growing daily basis, trending in the darkness. Yes, a lot of people agree that, you know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a master in dark politics. You know how to play dark politics very well. Okay, agreed. But at what point, you know, would Nigeria realize at this point that Bola Ahmed Tinubu plays dark politics? When before now, 2023, they had an option of choosing leadership, but they choose what we are in today. And what are we in? We have come to a man who plants himself as an emperor in disguise, a tyrant, you know, an emperor. You know, when he came into power, the moment he came, 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, Nigerians realized that, you know, the man at the helm of affairs is not a Democrat. He is an emperor and a tyrant. And before you know, he surrounded himself with tyrants. And that is why it seems that the remaining fabrics of the institutions of democracy in Nigeria has continued to break down on a daily basis.
Okay, now, someone like Delefor to have said that when you jettison rule of law, what you have is rule of impunity. I think that is the situation of Nigeria.
Of course, now, you see, in the absence of in the absence of injustice, when law is absent, resistance becomes an option.
In the absence of justice.
In the absence of justice, you know, or when injustice becomes law, you know, when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes an option. Currently now, there is nothing you will tell a newborn baby, an average Nigerian, about Nigeria now. He will not have something to tell you that if it is possible, he doesn't want to be linked, except those who has, because I can tell you, if you want to look at it from the class of Karl Marx theory, where you have the super rich, the elite. No, there's not even elite. If there's elite in Nigeria, Nigeria would have fixed up by now. But if you look at the only thing that is close to the masses, that is the hope of the masses, the only thing that the masses can always look at, even with them closing their eyes, knowing that justice will come, is the judiciary. Okay, now, and with that judiciary, I don't think that democracy is something to embrace.
Okay, now let us look at, because some school of thought believe that in Nigeria, that the system is not working, that what we needed is to rejig the system. Talking about the grand norm, the constitution, because what we have currently was forced on Nigerians by the military, and people have been yearning for a people's-oriented constitution. And someone like the Delefor have echoed this severally. Let me get your take.
See, like what they always say that the British and the Yorubas and the Hausa does not want Nigeria to war because of the crude oil. And you can see the suppression on oppression. If you look at it very well, yeah, have you sit down in a setting like Nigeria where we have three major ethnic nationalities? It is only the Igbos that are not allowed to be in the presidency. And these things, the way you look at it, it was powered intentionally. So, but now that they feel that they are Democrats or whatever the elite, they can attack themselves or can attack themselves, which I disagree 100%. There's no elite in Nigeria. There's nobody that can come out and call himself an elite. Nigeria does not have an elite. If they have an elite in Nigeria, then they should be able to play the role of elites. So, based on that structure now, the only thing they assumed gang up was to make sure that they continue to take away the resources of the eastern region unchecked to please the British system. The British system are the people who might have laid the foundation of this conspiracy that has destroyed the. See, anybody that is telling you, whether you are army or you are police or whatever you call yourself, that tell you that Nigeria is because they are paying you salary. No, wait, because they are paying you salary, they paying you, say Nigeria is working, clap for them. At the end of the month, you pay. Bro, go and calculate the number of people who are government employed working force. Then look at the number of people who are not employed. Look at the number of people that are self-employed. Even those that are self-employed are being seen as the productive class of the society. They are no longer productive. So how would you describe this? Then you are coming to tell me that they now budgeted 21 billion, 30 billion just to build a particular bungalow for one vice president or for one president. They are buying jets everywhere. Those particular class, look at their number. Are they up to, you see, when Dele Rotimi is trying to stand his point against this kind of criminality that's happening in the judiciary, are they not in disgrace now? Is judiciary not in disgrace? I was surprised the CGN came out recently and said they don't understand how the system, the judicial system, has derogated to the point that they don't even nobody have regard for the judiciary anymore.
Okay, now let us take attention to internal democracy in political parties. We understand that PDP is having their own fair share of internal crisis. Labour Party is having their own. It is not just, it's not a huru in even the ruling party, talking about the APC. Why do you think we fail to get it right in Nigeria?
I must be honest with you. You understand? There's no how we can get it right in Nigeria, unless we rewrite the history of things that make us not even in Nigeria who we are. That is the first thing we need to do before we become. Leave Nigeria. Before we become this ganged up arrangement and they tag us Nigeria. Nigeria is a tag. Nigeria is just a title. And if you look at that title, Nigeria, it is factored as a profit-making organization. Nigeria is a profit-making, and the people that we declare our profit to, they're not themselves. And since that time, the British Constitution till now, Nigerians with the so-called elite and professors and 1 million, everybody, they want to intimidate and oppress. That's why Olusegun said Nigeria is a jungle. Every Nigerian, every black man that is existing in this country are cannibals. They want to eat human beings.
But let me bring this thing that
I've not finished.
Okay.
I've not finished. They want to eat human beings. That's the only thing they know. They want to oppress and suppress and show themselves they are populous. What makes it populous? People are already talking about AI. Nigeria cannot feed themselves. Imagine the son of a vice president using nylon to give people rice. Nylon. Bro, this is what we are talking about. Sharing.
Okay, what would he have?
No, bro, let me tell you. They are disgracing them. That's why we are in this country when they sent a former vice president to the market. I was sharing 10,000 naira in the market.
But there's one question I want to ask.
If we fail to let Yorubas and Hausa stay on there. No, I'm not even counting the Fulanis, because the Fulanis are not part of. Everybody should go the separate way. That is the real reason why Nigeria cannot work.
There's one thing I want to bring in here, because someone like Odumeje said all Nigerians are illiterate. He said there's no professor in Nigeria. He said because if there's a professor, we would have seen people fixing electricity, getting it right in our educational sector, getting it right in the engineering sector, that hence we are not getting it right, that we are all illiterate.
If you go and listen to what Tunde Bakare said some time ago, I think that was last year. He said when Igbos we are busy organizing themselves on how to advance to the next level, the Yorubas we are busy doing meeting on how to check how many properties Igbos have bought in Lagos. Then how do you connect it? People are busy trying to see how they're going to move from one level to other. You are busy trying to scout and take out how many do they have. He said he cannot be part of the meeting. That is where the Nigeria is. Some people are trying to move forward. Some people are trying to advance the society. Some people are trying to step up. But all the rest is just sitting down because of what the British government told you people, that oil is the only way out. Crude oil is the only way out. That is why then how come? I keep on asking. The former vice president of Nigeria, Buhari, said that the Igbos are mobile economy. This one came, Shetima, the same thing. A lot of them are saying that in all the crannies, all the nooks and crannies, they found out that the Igbos are the ones behind every economic life in all the cities, in all the communities across Nigeria. Then the question is, having seen such nature, or having discovered, the strength of such people, wouldn't it be ideal for them to see how they can come into the position of the center and maybe use their experience or whatever or their strength to make sure that Nigeria move forward? Look at it. I said it. Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2023. Do Nigeria have an option to choose leadership? You see the consequences. We saw what happened in Delta State, where the wife of the president was chased out from where he went to. Why would you behave like Obi? If Obi is going to Catholic church, nursing school, and do his things and that, you come again, he say you want to go to nursing school. They chase you out. Look at what is happening in the north. The same thing. You are busy drinking beer here, and when you go to north, you put. Is it not a disgrace that the son of a vice president was putting rice inside nylon and was sharing? The northerners have already told him to get out.
The son of president.
Yes, get out of here. What kind of disgrace is that? It's an embarrassment. Not to what say you want to achieve, but to the situation attached to Nigerians.
Because look as if his father weaponized poverty and he's not going around to do giveaway of food.
Bro, even if you want to give away, let us see that it is not at that level of being seen as an embarrassment. You want to embarrass the north, so they have already transferred the reservation, the anger they have for our attitude to the father already, and that is going to affect whatever is calculating or projecting ahead of 2027. That's the situation now. What happened in Rivers State is as a result of what we are seeing in judiciary. What happened to Fubara, what Wike is trying to achieve, it's the same thing. But I can tell you, Tinubu is a master, like I said, in dark politics. And if Wike is not careful, Tinubu is going to throw Wike at the dustbin at the end of the day. I can tell you that. Because the way he's saying is going now, Tinubu can decide to allow the military administrator to remain there ahead of 2027, so that you'll be able to gather the resources of the River State, gather their money. The man is busy sacking all the whole local government chairman, sacking all the commissioners, sacking out all the head of service and everywhere. They are bringing Tinubu's or Wike's power structure back to River State in disguise. So how do you justify that? And a democratic elected government is somewhere in the Greek watching impunity. I pray that the likes of Onyi Beribe, I don't want to use that word because see, Asari should respect himself Don't take the Igbos for granted. You are making unnecessary statement that you can kill Igbos, kill all the governors, kill everybody for Nigeria. But I can tell you, you know, go and ask. You know, it's just like the same thing that's happening in Israel today. Israel kept quiet for long, watching, doing what, pretending as if they don't know what is happening. But when they start against Hamas, you can see what is happening today. Asari Dokuba has been daring Igbos for a very long time, and Igbos has kept quiet. And I believe our silence will not mean to him that Igbos are cowards.
Now, lastly on this, as a word summary, the youth, will you prefer a Tinubu revisiting confirm or calling for another sovereign nation?
No, I'm not interested in that. Well, the question I always put to you on this platform, let him fix one sector. If it is light, if it's education, if it's whatever Bola Tinubu knows that he can fix, that will have direct impact to the economy, let him go ahead and do it. I can mention one thing Obasanjo did, bank recapitalization, at least one that is sustainable. If the issue of electricity, tackle electricity, make sure that the issue of electricity is settled for that 4 years. Nigerians will celebrate him.
Let me say very big thank you for your time. This is a good place to let you.